What's up, peeps? It's your boy. I'm back again with another one. Umuzu Kumalo here. I'm your host of Everything Above Life. Let's go straight into it. Oh, guys, I'm having a bad headache. Need to. I'm being a good. Self-care stuff. I've been advocating for it, but here I am. I'm good. Or Kamanga, at least. But anyways, let's move right along and go with the war in what happened with the SA soldiers. So I've been getting bits and pieces of what's actually happening over there. But the sense that I'm getting is that Ramaphosa is saying if there needs to be a war, if we need to act, we will act. And Paul Kagame is right back at Ramaphosa saying, dude, Angisabi. That's what he basically said. In a video, he said, Angisabi. That was interesting to see. Also the intricacies of that, of which army is bigger. Do we think Paul Kagame has an ace in the hole, and that's why he's talking a big game? Do we think we can take on Rwanda? Is it necessary for us to do that? And all of those conversations around that. But what I want to touch on more is the ongoing war in the DRC. It's very fascinating case study. Not case study, but it's very fascinating to look at how there's been an ongoing war for I don't know for how long, for as long as I've been alive, actually. So it just goes back to there's this other series that I watched, just called Deep State. You guys should check it out. It's basically people taking advantage of ongoing conflict. That's what it basically is. It's like it's basically the same thing. I think there's news is a poem about these Zamazamazuti. They actually take all of this gold, all of these minerals to actually mining companies, and those companies, they probably pay next to nothing for it. So these mining companies might be the people that are hiring the Zamazamas to actually steal all of that without equipment, without paying them, without anything, right? Controlling that syndicate, basically building it. Those mining companies that actually build that syndicate. Hey, it's an opinion, whether I'm wrong about it or not, but that's just my view. I just think coincidentally, because if there's news with it, like what makes you think logic is, where did these guys actually take all of these minerals? Where do they take them? Who do they sell to? Who's their target market? I mean, as much as they're criminals, right? Criminals have a target market. Drug dealer has a target market, right? Drug dealer. Human trafficker, sorry guys, target market. Yeah? What's this? Poaching, target market. It's the same thing. Weapons, target market. It has a target market. So my question now is, i-target market usuke kubani? Lama-gents lawa abuya khona lawa. Ngitsho ukuthi nje bazosukela bazenzele le nto le. Ngitsho ukuthi akunabantu abazoyithengisela bona. And ngitsho ukuthi after at some point, those very same people that actually buy this, so they started off by buying and then they just thought, why buy all of this when I can just control it? That's just a theory, nonetheless. It's just a theory. Why not control it? So I genuinely think they control it. I do. I think they control the operation, the syndicate, basically. So yeah. So is DRC, with the situation that's happening most recently, I think it's quite similar, but what's happening in the DRC is far, far larger than anything that has ever happened in Limesons. I mean, companies fund rebels so that they can keep fighting and protect those regions, right? So they can mine without disruption. There's no tax. There's no paying people that don't pay anything. They don't. I mean, I'm thinking about it. I'm shooting a video, and what do they actually take for? There's an element that they use to put in phones and laptops. So I think it's a bit disingenuous to think that. Yeah, I think it was worth it, me mentioning with Yahya Namiji. In a sense, we all complicit. Let's be honest. I think the honest truth is that we're all complicit somehow in the war that's actually happening in the Congo. But that doesn't mean we don't have to raise awareness about it, because I think that's important. But to understand the depth of it is that there are multi-billion-dollar companies that feel it's in their best interest to keep funneling money through to those rebels, because they need those minerals. And if they get them for cheap or next to nothing, they make more money. That's capitalism 101, ladies and gentlemen. If I can get something for nada, and there's a way to do it, I'm probably going to do it. If it's going to get me billions and billions of dollars and billions of rands or whatever currency, I am going to hire mercenaries. I'm going to give you money. I'll spend this much, so I don't have to spend that much. Because if they have to create mining operation, they have to employ people, they have to pay them, there has to be pension, there has to be HR, there has to be all of these things. There has to be stable. The president has to agree. You see, there's a lot of things that are going on there. So what do? You destabilize the region so that you can profit off of its minerals and then continue creating the wars. Because those are the people that are keeping those wars alive. I don't think it's the rebels or anything like that. I think it's those multinational companies. They're just keeping it alive so that they can continue to basically. Capitalism or not, same thing. Military industrial complex. Invader can create a problem and provide a solution, right? It's not a military industrial complex. I think it's just capitalism 101. It's the same thing they try to do with ESCOM. Let's be honest, this is Zululias. The same thing they try to do with ESCOM. Same thing they did with those other public companies. So that knights in shining armor will just swoop in and take over and say, hey, they saved the company. Whereas they were basically complicit in actually running the company to the ground, so they can buy it for cents on a rand, by taking next to nothing. Capitalism 101, ladies and gentlemen. Because I think if and most of these companies would not be profitable at all if government they run efficiently. If let's be honest, transport system, healthcare system, education system. Listen, mining industry. Listen, guys. If it was not efficient, government I go efficient in Jogumanj. So that's why these private companies are making billions and billions of rands every single year. It's because that the government cannot provide efficient. They're not a government actually government basically actually government was provide basic services for citizens. I'm not. I think I'm even using the wrong word. When I'm saying that they don't want to. No, they can't. It's the fact that they don't want to. I always make this example, right? Because human beings are not perfect and we cannot expect them to be, right? Always should hold them to a very high standard, by the way. But I, Muzu Khumalo, get a tender to build 10 bridges. I love this example. I love it. I get a tender to build 10 bridges. As now Zwenza. Mena, Muzu Khumalo, ufuna drive Porsche. Sure. You know what I'm gonna do? Ngizwakhe bridge A1. Bese ngihlimali yena. Yabo. Bese ngibuye ngibalambe ngithi bafethu equipment ngiyaba overcharge. Phela ngiyabhala lapha. Cement noma ngazi ukuthi i50 kg konje imali ne 50 kg yesimende kulamalanga. How much is it? I need a number. Anyways, asithi 2 clip ne, but mina ngoba ngumuntu khumana ngifuna kuyichawa yonke le nyuko. Yazi ngizozenzani? Thatha le mali uzobhala lapha manga ku-invoice, mangisha ku-invoice uzothi tawa, not even tawa, 2,000. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just speculating, guys, by the way. I'm just speculating with it. Maybe that's how they actually get the money to move. That's how it disappears. And badla kanjalo. Yangithola. So, yeah, speculate at this point. I'm just simply speculating with it. That's what they might be doing. But that's what you do. Unokuthi waka ama-bridge ayi-9 udla imali ya-1 muzikhumalo bridge 10 bridges. I'm gonna build one. Stadium, Kona Stadium, Eastern Cape. That embarrassment is not even a word to use for that one. Stadium said 20 million bathatha bona nama stands la wensimbi la bavele babeka lapha na ground lapha bavele bakhulisa utshani badraw. Abona nabathi ngathi umuntu vele odraw ngesandla so azange asebenzise lo machine wakhona, but beza nescale, but iso se 20 million. So 20 million wakhetha stadium abafethi imali edliwa la eSouth Africa. Idliwa yazi indlela edliwa ngayo ne, bakhombisa ukuthi yayidla le mali and ayike into ezoyenza. And ibhlungu, it's so sad to say that, but injalo mali idliwa kanjalo bayidle. Ubona umuntu bathi umuntu 200 million how sipho lokhu kwayizolo bekazihambela bekazitotobela ngephulu. Hayi wathi ngephulu uyatotoba utotobe ngephulu modrive ngephulu drive motogram izolo lokhu ugibela ama-taxi mara ama-taxi okay ngiya-exaggerate bamba ngemoto nyana Polo Vivo right bengihlala hamba ngePolo Vivo how jiki uqeda ukuthola ithenda wena sohamba ngani uhamba ngani ngePorsche le 3 million njani unyaka okaphili idlula amamanzi wena sohamba ngePorsche namase bathi overnight success guys angeke overnight success nje like abantu bayidla la siyibhekile udaya yadliwa imali yadliwa nyamalala ama-billion. South Africa, a beautiful land. Yes. Yadliwa imali upho. Yes. Usibabona kuma-Instagram yibo balokhu babhizi mali yethu yo bafethu akudlaliwe ngathi kudlaliwe nje ngathi. But just going back, I know I deviated, I know I just went off topic a bit, but I mean, like, it's like the current situation that we have, like South Africa landscape yakhona political calendar. Abantu badla imali, akunamuntu oboshwayo, akunamuntu oboshwa akenzeki nix. Sijulile sibhekile lokhu siyababona labantu abadla imali udle yadliwa imali. Mara dololo, bafethu. So, military industrial complex, right? You feed on the hate of a particular group of people, an angry group of people, right? Feed on that and create a terrorist so that terrorist can be the face of what you are fighting against, basically. And to take it even further, and then they assassinate somebody who was prominent in government or somebody they wanted out of the way. And they're gonna say that person, that was a terrorist attack, and this terrorist group claimed the attack as their own or something like that. Next thing you know, troop soldiers from other countries, you know who I'm talking about. Next thing you know, guys are in there, they are all over. Fight the war for a good 5-6 years. Try to push them back, they don't. Until finally, the country needs real building. And if you don't go with their agenda, unfortunately, they oust you. They do. They become a coup. And the minute that you resist, and the minute that coup fade, you are now viewed as a dictator. They use words like dictator. It's wrong for the people, like a Dinyegi and all this type of stuff, right? They paint you a bad person in the media. I think they have that kind of power, especially because they're in the media. They control those interests as well. When they get in there, the country, manji, is blown to oblivion. There's nothing. Who do you think owns the construction companies? Who do you think owns the oil companies, the mining companies? Food, agricultural company, who do you think has a stake in that? It's the same guys that bombed the country, the same guys that financed materials. So that's just basically the but if you want to just check out Deep State. Deep State is like a comba, really combat. Yakuluma, hey, Cupcake is busy these days. Busy, Mr. President. Then sign the bill, expropriation. Hey, Kalabelu. Obviously, I don't have enough information pertaining to what the actual acts actually says. Level signing. I don't have detail, like I don't have complete details, but I can just say it has white people up in arms. Obvious to Trump. Trump uzofika naye abatshela. Khuluma into yakho. Utheni uTrump? Utheni lemalanga? I saw a clip. As in, you know what? I'm not good with quoting people. Actually, I'm not that great. There's a clip. There's a guy. I said, we're cutting all military. We're cutting aid because bona bafun babulala belungu. What man? I ngek. Abelungu. Wakwatid. White people are angry. They're very angry, ne? Of which I think by the then president, no, not then president, political activist and general of the SACP, of which is the late Chris Hani. I mean, the way he spoke, he brought fear into white people's hearts. They saw that man speak. They're like, this man is not good for us. He needs to die. Basically, that's what they did. That's what they basically did. They said he basically needs to die, and that's what happened. Because I feel that Chris Hani is probably going to be the first president of South Africa. Stand to be corrected. But the way he's in the Bezangakon and the way my father explained it to me, is that Chris Hani was going to be the president of the country. And what's the first order of business when you become president of the country? Eita thieves. Take it back by force. If you vamos, right? Of which I think it's only fair, right? That we take the land back, because land is everything. Don't let anybody tell you anything else. Land is everything. People build, like, to just conceptualize it for you a bit. Just to we understand. You build shopping malls, you build factories, you build companies, you build roads. You build schools, you build universities. You build double hangout, you build that. I understand. You build. So land is everything. That was the first step in trying to get black people to where they're actually supposed to be. Because I think the words Waka Steve Biko is that I'm not sure if it's related to this, but I love what he said. He said Africa's contribution is to give the world a more human face, because the world is so industrialized and economized that we as Africans, it's our turn to do that. Guys, please excuse me. Let me just fix this plan just quickly. Apologies in the technical glitch. Sorry about that. So, but yes, basically, that's what the crust of. I think I'm not connecting the dots. I need right? I think the dream of past presidents that that tried to get, that got independence from the European countries was to unite, or to unite the entire African continent, right? Create a currency. I think that was a plan from like the 60s. I think it's what Muammar Gaddafi tried to do. Well, Muammar Gaddafi, he's a bit, listen, it's studying him, yes, you study him, but how you actually view him in history is something else. It depends on from where you are, basically. But that's what they were trying to do. Christian was trying to do the same thing. I was speaking to a friend of mine that the most important political assassinations happened in the 20th century. They did. From the first president of Ghana, of the independent Ghana, it's Kwame Nkrumah, yes, to Thomas Sankara, to Petrus Lubumba, to Samora Machel, to Steve Biko, to Robert Sobukwe. I can go on and on and on, but it is basic. Those assassinations themselves. Okay, Robert Sobukwe was not assassinated. I think he died of cancer. Again, but what I'm basically trying to say is that they had a singular dream, of which was to unite the entire African continent, thus making us a superpower, thus making the continent a superpower. Because if we got those powers to do that, that would mean that we would create our own factories, we'd be self-sustaining basically. And what the West is actually plunging in Africa, what they actually been doing for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. It's getting too dark now. Let me switch on the light. Sorry guys, sorry again. So what I'm basically trying to say is, they were basically trying to make Africa a superpower, not a superpower in the, like a military sense or economy, but basically in a slow economic sense. Is obviously an actual pillar, look, free education and all of these things most bad. I think that's what they were basically trying to do. I think that was the idea, that healthcare is a human right, education is a human right, housing is a human right, shelter, it's basically shelter. Housing is a human right. It's not something that is exclusive to certain people, right? I think that's what they were trying to do. But because Europe was trying to wanted to continue to plunge and steal and take, they thought it better that they should murder these individuals. And they did. They succeeded, because look where Africa is now. Because it's sin, and obviously there's always going to be a country that's trying to resist. The current president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, and there's the president of Niger, and the president of Mali. I believe they are trying to make Africa a stronghold, well, at least the regions, and I think of it as a great thing. It's particularly a great thing. And I think South Africa probably has to make the biggest contribution out of all of the countries. Honestly, I do. I do. I think they have the biggest contribution to actually make. I'm not gonna say that we are. I can't say we are the country that keeps the continent together. But are we? Maybe. I don't know. Is that a question? Maybe. I could be corrected once more. But I think it's the country that keeps the continent together. I stand to be corrected again. So that's what they wanted to create. So that's why white people are so up in arms about the land thing. Their grandfathers and the great-grandfathers, they got it for next to nothing. Sorry. I think we just want what's ours. What belonged to us in the first place. What belonged to our grandfathers. And our grandfathers and our great-grandmothers. We just want that. We just want what is owed to us. That's it. And white people are thinking that we're trying to murder them. No, we're not trying to murder you. Nobody's trying to murder anybody. Like, dude, we have enough problems that is trying to murder people. No. If we wanted to murder people, we would have murdered white people in the 90s, probably, most likely. Yes, because black people are such a forgiving people. They are. A gift and a curse. In this particular instance, it was a curse, right? We forgave white people too quickly. We did. It's like you guys are asking us almost 30 years, like, dog, apartheid happened. Get over it. That's what they're basically saying. It's like, get over it. Centuries of slavery, of murder, and you are telling us to simply just get over that because your guys are now uncomfortable having that conversation. Anyways, I think the point I'm making it again. It's the fact that we just simply want what is ours. And obviously there's a lot of distortion. I mean, the person that writes history is the one that has conquered, not the one that has been conquered. You see, English has been taught, but anyways, yes, that's what I'm saying. So obviously that writes it very, very differently. So I think bashukhet kancane belungu. And look at Ramaphosa ngathi uthathe labantu bakujini bafaka kula position nebang like uthel aha nifuna bani ungathi ubuza uzile nifuna bani uzile sicela mamlethe beka khona. And then what happens, bamenza jikela belungu na kufanele ukuthi bajikele usayina hey that Bella Act what listen, people felt attacked, yo, again. They're like, yeah, you're discriminate, but no, he was not. In fact, he should have done it. It should have been done a long time ago. So, this most recent, this is a Dean something. Yeah, Dean something somewhere there, but yeah, and this other minister, what did they? Well, they're not gonna sign this thing. They're not gonna sign the bill into. They're not gonna sign the bill because it's not their beliefs. That I have to give it to him. He did that. And guys, please don't judge my basic reasoning. I currently don't have the capacity to go even deeper into that. I'm still, yeah. But yes, it was nice to actually talk about, just to go into it a bit. Yeah. This was basically what I was thinking. It was funny. It was very funny to see. It was very funny to listen to as well. I'm gonna end it off as I always do. Let's be more patient with ourselves with it. That's what I always emphasize. Let's be more patient with ourselves. Being impatient is not going to do anything for you. It's not. Just be more patient. Just be more patient. I think that's what I can emphasize. And taking care of yourselves. Taking care of yourselves. Get off of that treadmill when you need to. Just take a breather, take a knee, do something. And remind yourself why you're doing something in the first place. Because you do something for so long, you forget why you're doing it. You first get a job. When you get a job, you still have that fire. You're thinking, okay, when I get this job, this is what I'm going to do. And then life happens. When life happens, you forget all about it. Right? Now you're so focused on what is happening on the day-to-day, you forget to dream big and believe and plan. Dreams are nothing if you don't plan. And if you don't execute, more so, they're just daydreams. So I'm just asking you guys, get off that treadmill sometimes, take a breather, have a beer, just to say, I've done it. Listen, fuck, it's been a hectic week. Let me unwind. Boy, I'm serious. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me pray. Let me meditate. Let me smoke. Let me go for a run. Let me go to the gym. That's important, man. Those little moments that you have to yourself, they're important, man. They remind us why we're here and why we're alive. And what are you doing this for? Because that's what is going to keep you going. It's the same thing I said last time. I'm going to say it again. It's what we need. It's what we need. And yeah, that's what I wish for everybody. Take care of yourselves, perfect. Eat right. Sleep. Get yourself some sleep. Energy drink. Aflan energy drink. Azosibulala necoffee. What I'm basically saying, guys, is just please take care of yourselves. Yes, there's people around you, but please take care of yourselves. Sometimes imposter syndrome does creep in. It does, and it makes you feel so inadequate, man. Feels like you're not worthy of anything. And then I remembered it's almost sort of like a dialogue between a character, what's the gentleman? Joseph Morgan, who plays Klaus from the originals, and this guy who was, if you know, it's like a vampire thing. Yeah, about the first vampire family, the originals. This guy was compelled by, who? This other guy, Lucian. I think that's like another season. But point of the matter is that what he said in that dialogue has stuck with me for so long, and I found myself remembering it today. It is so crazy. It is so crazy. He said, I am quoting, guys, let me kick out, nah? Let me kick out, don't judge me. This next few minutes, please don't judge how they go. Just let me kick out so I can get my point across. He said, the feelings of worthlessness that haunt you now, I can tell you can learn to live with them. I certainly have. I've also come to find that the very thing you believe is what the least matters most of all. There is beauty in the courage of the fragile fighter, those who persevere despite all they've been through, those who still believe there is good in the world. Us dark things often find we need that light the most. And then he goes on to grab him by his face, and he says that he's sort of uncompelling it, but he said, what you do not see in yourself, others see in you. You do matter. And then there's a part that goes on a bit, and then he ends it off by saying, you will remember today as your darkest day. Tomorrow will be better. The day after better still. And you will go on. That's how that dialogue sort of went, but the crux of it is basically just remind yourself, man, even on the days that life feels absolutely fucked up, just remember that there's people that are rooting for you. I think sometimes we think, again, go through this life thing alone, and that's impossible. Find your people, man. Stick with your people. Your loyal, lifelong friends, even if you're at different points in your lives. I mean, every time we are with them, that's what I can say about my friends. I don't see my friends as often as I can, because I chose a different life, and I don't judge them for the life they live because they choose it, because they're my friends. I'm not supposed to judge them. I love them. I know that every time that I go to my friends, man, there's a feeling that I get that these people are cheering for me. These people that have been in my corner since I was younger. They're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. But what remains is that we love each other. I love my friends perfect. I don't go out with them as often because there's certain things that I cannot do. There's certain things that I cannot do because I have to think about my partner. I have to think about my partner. I have to think about a lot of things, man. There's a lot of things that I can't go out every weekend. I'm not sure they do now, but ungani bami baphuza utshwala. Baziphuzela utshwala, bazihlekela. But they're living their lives. They're trying to make something of themselves, and I'm proud of them for that. Because every time I meet them, there's progress that they made in their lives. But sometimes I'm not going there so I can judge how far they've come. Sometimes I'm just there to talk smack and talk shit with my friends and laugh my eyeballs out and forget about life's problems and everything else. I get that with my partner. I get that with my friends, and it's important to have that. It's really important to have that. I also get it with my siblings. It's important to have that, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't. Listen, I can't keep up. And also another thing, I just can't keep up with them anymore. I can't. Labantu labo hambe uphuza nabo. Jiki change location. Yabo? Ngitangasazifunda so. Uzogula 3 days. And because now you're getting older now. You're not 20 years old anymore. You take 2 days to recover. Because if you put on a Sunday, you get a Monday, pay papalas. On Tuesday, I mean, you job to fully function. So kuli, I never. I ain't. I put a pig is straight, but yeah. I love them, man. And they're also a big part of actually who I am. I know that people say that you're responsible for that, but the people around you, they shape you. They shape who you are, the good and the bad. But I'd like to focus on the good with my friends. Because obviously the bad you can just chuck out, man. I mean, it's that simple, but I love them. And I understand we're at certain points in our lives, so we can't be meeting every weekend. I can't be going to chill with them every weekend, right? I have to think about my partner, man. I have to think about building a life with her. So that's important. That's also important, actually. As much as my friends are important, that's also important. Building a life for myself, building a family. And I don't want the two things to be separate. There's my friends, and then there's my partner. I also don't want it to be one and the same thing, but I also want it to be connected somehow, right? Yes, I also want it to be connected somehow, which I know okay, I can go be with my friends and just be. And I know that when I'm here, I know I just be. That's what I love about my partner, is that you get to be yourself. That's a beautiful thing about the relationship, is that you get to be yourself, and that's how relationships should be. People should love you for you. They should not try to. Obviously, you change because that's what there's certain things that they need from you. They need you to do certain things, and because you love them, you're going to change for them. It's not a bad thing. People keep saying, it's a bad thing that you're changing for this. No, it's not. It's not. It's a beautiful thing. If you're doing it for the right reason, it's a beautiful thing, changing for somebody. They're changing your love language. You have a particular love language. Your partner wants to be loved in a different way. You have to find a way to do that. And it's a constant navigation of getting to know somebody. Nothing is ever perfect. And there's no formula. Ayikho. It is what it is. You just do the best that you can. And put in effort and try to be better every day, because nobody is perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. So keep the community of people. Keep it, man. Somebody you can talk, somebody you can call at 2 a.m. Or somebody you can just vent to. Or somebody you can just have a talk with, have a couple of beers with, and just, or you probably need just somebody to just cry your eyeballs out, or just laugh. Sometimes you just need to laugh. It's like and then go back home. We need a community of people. We need it. We are not islands. We need to be connected to each other. When you find people that are great for you, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's love perfect. That's what's gonna heal the world. It's love perfect. And don't forget that love wins every single day and twice on Sundays. It's peace out.